Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. If you can hear me and you can see me, type out yes in the chat box. If you can hear me and you can see me, please type out yes in the chat box. Awesome. Wonderful, wonderful. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Today, we are going to have a conversation on mastering your time. So, we got to start on time, which is 7 p.m. So, we have 4 more minutes. Make sure you have a notebook and a pen. And today, you will need it for sure. You will definitely need a notebook or a pen because I have an exercise when we're going to talk about mastering your time. So, make sure you get a notebook and a pen. Make sure you have a bottle of water. Make sure you lock yourself in a room where nobody can disturb you. And I will see you back at 7 p.m. sharp, which is 3 minutes away in my watch at this point of time. So I'll see you back at 7 p.m. sharp. All right. So the clock ticks 7, and here we are live talking about how we master your time. So if you're ready and you're excited to learn how you can master this ever elusive force called time, which always feels like it's falling short, it always feels like we are running and it is running faster than us, then type out excited in the chat box because today we are going to talk about how do you master your time. Type out excited in the chat box if you're ready. Amazing. Now, let me put it this way. I want to make sure you have a notebook and a pen today. I know some of you have the habit of taking pictures of slides, but you will need a notebook and a pen today because I have an exercise that I'm going to make you do during this webinar today. So make sure that you have a notebook and a pen. Make sure you close yourself in a room, lock yourself up so that you can be physically and mentally present in today's webinar. And finally, you know the rules. If you can't hear me, and you can't see me and you find the voice is a little unclear, type out can't hear you. But if you see someone else typing out can't hear, can't see, and you can hear me and you can see me clearly, it means there's no challenge at my end. So you type out loud and clear and be a part of my loud and clear army. So that's how we do every single webinar. With that, let's jump into the one key question we are here to answer today, which is how do you optimize your time to live a holistic life? When I'm going to talk about mastering your time today, I'm not just talking about mastering your time at work. I'm talking about mastering your time in life, in every single area of your life. So how many of you would like to learn how to master your time in life? Because you know what? I truly believe this. You can't be an amazing entrepreneur and a pathetic husband or a pathetic wife or a pathetic father or a pathetic son or a pathetic brother or a sister or a daughter. You are one person and you got to optimize every single role in your life and be there for every single role in your life. If you agree, type out agree. Okay, if you agree, type out agree. Okay, so we can't, a lot of people give an excuse. They give an excuse to not take responsibility in one area of their life by saying, I'm taking too much responsibility in another area of my life. Like a lot of people give excuses of, okay, I don't have the time to take care of my health because right now I'm focusing on my business. That's not how you live a holistic life. Today, we're going to talk about how do you master this elusive force called time so that you can live a holistic life. And I can promise you one thing. I'm going to give you a template by the end of today's webinar on how you can master your time and optimize every single area of your life. So how many of you like a template? If you like a template, type out template. If you like a template, type out template. So I'm going to be sharing with you a template. It's a template that I personally use. I've been using this for 9 years now, 9 to 10 years now. And I've kind of modified it, verified it, broken it, rebuilt it, and played with it to figure out what actually works, what actually does not work when it comes to mastering our life by mastering our time. Now, while we get into that, in the Mastering Your Life webinar, some of you would have already attended it. Some of you would have not yet attended it. Don't worry, you'll get the recording whenever you have to get it. Okay. In the Mastering a Life webinar, I spoke about 7 areas of life. Those of you who watched that webinar on Mastering Your Life, do you remember these 7 areas? We spoke about that for every human being, health is one area, relationships is a second area, wealth is another area, your business is your fourth area. Your wealth is different from your business. Your business is a vehicle for you to generate an income. How you use that income, how you save that income, how you invest that income determines your wealth. So wealth and business is different, ladies and gentlemen. Don't confuse the two. So business is another area. Recreation is another area. It could be travel. It could be sports. It could be hobbies. It could be learning something which like a musical instrument or anything. Okay, so anything that gives you joy, fulfills your soul, that comes under recreation. Then contribution, making a difference, supporting causes, all of that comes under contribution. And finally comes our spiritual growth, which is our personal learning and evolution as a soul. Now, these are 7 areas of our life. Most people struggle with managing time in just one area, which is at their work itself. How many of you would be interested in learning how do you manage your time in 7 areas? If you'd be interested, type out interested. Because today I'm going to give you a template on how do you manage your time in all these 7 areas and truly, truly balance in all these 7 areas. And when I use the word balance, I'm not talking 7 hours. I'm not saying 8 hours work, 8 hours sleep, 8 hours for personal time. No, that is not called balance. Balance is actually clarity of knowing what you want to accomplish in every single area and doing it. Someone's asking, what about social life? Well, social life is recreation. That's a part of your recreation. Your social life is a part of your recreation. Someone's asking, what about Delhi Pace? Don't worry. SuccessGyan is reaching out to you because we have a plan of how we're going to execute it. So don't worry about that. Let's focus on today's topic, which is mastering your time. Now, in this, we spoke in the Mastering Your Life module. There's a recording that some of you will receive where we spoke about 2 things. Okay, we spoke about the approaches to living. Most people live an or life, health or wealth, relationship or business. Okay, all of these things, people look at a very or approach to life and they live an incomplete life. And let me tell you, when you live an incomplete life, how many of you agree that if any area of your life is struggling or it's incomplete or you've not taken charge of it, that area keeps troubling you and nagging you and reminding you about it when you're doing something else. Like if you have challenges in your relationships, you're not spending quality time at home, you're having frequent fights and arguments, that area keeps troubling you even when you are at work. How many of you agree? If you agree, type out agree. Okay. If your health is a mess and you're just focusing on business, 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 your health keeps reminding you that, hey, I used to always say this, you either pay by attention or you pay by pain. You either pay by attention or you pay by pain. It's better to pay by attention and pay attention to every single area of your life rather than paying by pain. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. Because you don't want every area of your life to create pain so that you start focusing on it. Most people take care of money after they lose money. Most people take care of relationships after they lose relationships. Most people take care of health after they've lost their health. So don't be reactive. Don't live an or life. The key is to live an and life. How do we take care of health and wealth and relationships and recreation and spirituality and contribution and business? How do we take care of all of it? That perspective, that approach to life is called an and life. So if you'd like to explore how to live an and life, type out and in the chat box. Type out and in the chat box. Okay. Now for us to explore how to live an and life, we firstly need to have an optimal relationship with the concept of time. Here's the reality. Most people don't have the right concept and the right understanding of what is time. So how many of you are ready to build your relationship with time? How many of you are ready to fall in love with time? How many of you are ready to romance time? If you're ready, type out ready, because now is when the module actually starts. Till now I was just setting the base for all of you. Now I'm going to make all of you do an exercise right now. And when I make you do this exercise, I know I can't see you right now, but let me tell you something. I trust you that you will participate fully in this exercise in the right manner. Okay. Because those of you who will participate fully in this exercise in the right manner, I promise you, you will learn a very, very important lesson around time. Okay. Someone saying my voice is freezing. Okay. Is my voice freezing? Okay. 2, 3 messages on voice freezing. If it's loud and clear, type out loud and clear. Okay. Loud and clear, type out loud and clear. Now it's better. Must be a fluctuation in the internet. Okay. So I'll repeat what I said for those of you who lost me. Don't worry. I'll repeat. When the issue's at my end, I will take responsibility. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me shift my internet connection line. Give me a moment, everybody. Let me just shift my internet connection line. Okay. Can you guys see me and hear me clearly right now? If you can, type out loud and clear. The slide may not be visible, but if I am visible and you can hear me, type out loud and clear right now. Check, check, check. My back. Okay, am I back right now, ladies and gentlemen? Can you see me? Okay, yes, no. All right. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. One second. Okay. If you can hear me, you can see me now, type out loud and clear. If you can hear me and you can see me now, type out loud and clear. Okay. People say loud and clear. So we've been able to fix the problem. We just have to be patient when the internet tries to play mind games with all of us. So where was I before we went into all this interruption? Okay. Now watch. With regards to relationship with time, we are going to get into an exercise right now. I would need all of you to have a notebook and a pen. Okay, we need all of you to have a notebook and a pen. We're going to get into an exercise right now. Though I cannot see you, I want you to participate fully in this exercise. So how many of you will participate fully in this exercise? If you will, type out fully in the chat box. You will not cut corners in an exercise. You won't be lazy in this exercise. You will do what I ask you to do, even if it does not make sense. I want you to do it, because those of you who immerse fully in this exercise, I promise you one thing: you will learn the biggest lesson of your life when it comes to time. You will learn the biggest lesson of your life when it comes to time. So I see a lot of you committing to participating fully. So let's get started with establishing and understanding our relationship with time by doing an exercise which I call the exercise of totality. Sorry, excuse that. So what is the exercise of totality? Here's what I want all of you to do. Take a blank sheet of paper in your notebook, and I want you to start by listing any activity that takes up time in your day. Now listen to my instructions carefully. When you're preparing this list, I want you to number the list. So I want you to write 1, waking up in the morning and washing my face; 2, brushing my teeth; 3, using the bathroom; 4, taking a shower; 5, changing my clothes; 6, folding my bed sheet; 7, drinking water; 8, reading the newspaper; 9, checking my phone updates. I want you to break it down into every single activity that takes up time in your day. The person with the highest list, I have something special for you. So I want you to start right now. We're going to immerse ourselves in this exercise for the next 10 minutes. Okay. So I want you to start listing every single activity in the day. Okay. In your life on a usual day, not just under lockdown, but everything that takes up time in your day. It could be something like cutting my nails. It could be something like eating breakfast, eating lunch, eating dinner, having tea. These are different items. It's not just eating. Okay. These are different items. Okay. It says voice gone again, freezing. Can you guys hear me and see me? If you can hear me and you can see me, okay, loud and clear. Okay, great. Now, so how many of you got that? You will list out every single activity in the day. You won't just say traveling. You will say dropping my children to school. That is one item. Going to office, another item. Returning from office, another item. I want you to make a list of any activity that takes up any time in your day. Anything that consumes time needs to be on that list. And the person with the largest list, you have something special from my side. So I want you to make sure you are writing down every single activity. Your time starts now, begin. Your time starts now, begin. Every single activity that takes up your time, right? From waking up, brushing your teeth, filling fuel in your car, okay? Anything that takes up time. If you got that, type out got that and continue, start writing. If you got that, type out got that and start writing. Awesome. Thank you. You don't have to write how much time it takes. Daksha Shah asked, we need to write how much time it takes? No, don't have to write how much time it takes. You'll go mad if you write how much time it takes. Just write whatever takes time and number the list. I want to know how many things you have written down. Every single thing. Lunch, dinner, tea, breakfast, all of these things are different items. So they should be different items. Okay. Checking emails is a different item. At work, what all you do. Making calls to customer, different item. Sales meeting, different item. Team meeting, different item. Every single thing. Yes, brushing, shaving, bathing, everything you need to put it down. You're exercising, everything. So things at home, things at work, your entire day. What are all the things that you do that takes up time? Sending follow-up emails, different item. Don't just write working. Break down even at work. What all do you do? What all takes time? You obviously don't have to write repeats, but just write, make sure that each item is listed there. Thinking also takes time. Write down thinking. Yes, traveling to office, traveling to home, different items. If you go in between anywhere else, write that also. Okay, continue writing, continue writing. Continue writing. Now, Let me tell you. Yeah, WhatsApp, right? Different items, right? WhatsApp, family group, friends group, college friends group, school friends group. If you spend time on all those, right? Everything that takes time. Watching TV, right? You don't have to write how often do you do it. You just have to write any item that takes time. Yeah, wasting time on adjusting hair. That's an interesting one, Sagar. I know some people who have a habit to keep doing that all day long. Okay. Smoke breaks, right? Anything that takes up time. Tell me what number are you on? Tell me what number are you on? Each one of you. How many items have you listed so far? 8, 9, 18, 25, 35, 30. Talking to customers. Yes, you have to write as a different item. 25, 13, 15. You're very slow at writing. Shanmuganathan, 45. Amazing. Wasting time on social media, right? Rahil, 82. Amazing. Make sure you've written, huh? Not thought. Guys, like I said, please surrender to this activity. There's an amazing lesson waiting for you on the other side of the activity. So make sure you write. Because some of you are thinking 50 items, writing 5 items. So make sure your hand is moving at the speed of thought and you're writing down everything. Don't cut corners in this exercise because you have a big lesson to learn. I want you to immerse in this exercise. Surrender to this exercise fully. Okay. Any activity that takes up time in your day, write that down. Now to this list, add, okay, continue the list. Don't start from one, continue from wherever. List all the things you have wanted to do and haven't done, because even those things will take time. List all the things that you have wanted to do but haven't done. All those books you wanted to read, write this book, name those books. All those movies you wanted to watch and you have not watched, write them down. All those places you wanted to visit but have not visited, write them down. Well, we are doing an exercise for those of you who've joined in late. We're doing an exercise called exercise of totality, where I want you to write down every single thing that takes up time in your day. Brushing your teeth, okay, waking up, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, going to the bathroom, taking care of your pet. I'm not asking you to put a schedule. I'm just asking you to make a list of anything that takes time. List all the things you wanted to do but have not done. All the things you wanted to do but have not done. Places you wanted to visit, friends and people you wanted to meet, things that you wanted to do in your business and have not done. Okay, things you wanted to learn, things you wanted to read, movies you want to watch. Write everything that you wanted to do and have not done, because all of those things also will take time. By now, you should have at least 100, 150 items on your list. Anything that takes time. We are making a list of anything that takes time. That's why it's called the exercise of totality. Things you wanted to learn but have not learned. Guitar class, yoga, Zumba. Okay, write that down. Anything that takes time and anything that you wanted to do. Think of all the things you wanted to do but have not done. What's your list? What's your list on? Tell me the number of things you have on your list right now. 40, 60. Girish, 210. Girish is doing this exercise sincerely. Those of you are still in your 20s, you're not working hard in this exercise. Let me tell you, you're being very lazy in this also. Okay, come on. Okay, all of us, there are so many things that we wanted to do and have not done. So you need to apply your thought process and write. 6. How can you have just 6 things that take up time in your day? I can count 6 things like lunch, dinner, breakfast, tea, coffee, okay, watching TV, taking a shower. That is 7 things I listed like this. Come on. Wasting time is also an item. Write that down. Okay. Rakesh, 220. Nice. Dhruv says, wanted to do and haven't done is from daily chores. No, anything in life that you wanted to do and have not done. Anything. Fighting with spouse. Okay. Watching my videos on social media. Okay, watching all the online videos that I have. Everything, I want you to write it down. Guys, I'll tell you something. Jokes apart. Jokes apart. I do this webinar, I do this exercise sometimes with my coaching clients, and I give them 2 hours just to make this list. I'm not going to give you 2 hours today just to make this list. Okay. But when I give people 2 hours just to make this list, we come up with at least 1,800 or 1,900 items every human being has to do or wants to do or should have done that takes time. So I'm not going to give you 2 hours to do this, but I want you to immerse in this 10 minutes. You need to have a large list. Now to this list, continue writing things that you didn't want to do, but had to do. Things you didn't want to do, but you ended up doing because you had to do it. Could be anything. Taking, like going and paying electricity bill, you didn't want to do, but you had to do it. Going to the bank for some work, you didn't want to do, but you had to do it. Going for a license renewal, didn't want to do, have to do it. Go meet relatives that you don't like, you didn't want to do it, but you had to do it. Okay. So write down all the things that you didn't want to do, but had to do, because they all also consume time. They all also consume time. All those things also take time. So continue the same list. The numbering needs to continue. I want each one of you to number things. It could be even taking part in this exercise. You don't want to do it, but you have to do it. Okay. Someone says, I don't do what I don't want to do. That's not true. All of us do stuff that we don't want to do. If you are a human being, you will end up doing things that you don't want to do. It's just, so let's not talk about some motivational macro statement. All of us do things that we don't want to do. It's just a part of being human. Yeah, following up on petty things with team members, that could be one thing that is taking your time. Okay, so I want you to write. Now to this list, write all the incomplete tasks in your life. All the things you left incomplete. Okay, all the things that you left incomplete, write that down. Left a book halfway, left a course halfway. Okay, left following up with a client halfway. Okay, left pursuing a product idea halfway. All the things that are incomplete in your life. Your insurance renewal, your PPF renewal, if you've not yet done it, your license renewal, your passport renewals, all the things that are incomplete in your life. Reports at workplace, reviews at workplace that are incomplete. And to that, list all the things that are repetitive in your life. Things you have to do daily, things you have to do weekly, things you have to do monthly. Start thinking. Going to the fuel station, filling fuel. Probably you have to do it weekly or monthly. That's an activity. So write that down. Okay. Renewing all your statutory documents or paying taxes or anything. Write all of those down with things that happen annually, things that happen monthly, computing your GST and making GST payments on a monthly basis. Write everything that is repetitive in your life. The list should be huge by now. Tell me how many things have you got so far? I'm not yet started teaching you anything. I'm just preparing you for the learning. Ronak 70, Sanjay 60, Amit 44, Anil 52, 60, 90, 187, 120. If you're less than 150, you've not done this exercise with full thought. You're actually getting irritated and frustrated with me making you do this because you're not writing as much as you're thinking. Girish 397. Wow. Ronak taking time to write. I know. Right. Don't worry. Continue writing. Okay, I'll shut up. I'll give you silent space to write. Some of you are getting interrupted with what I am speaking. One last thing I will say, and then I'll shut up for 3 minutes. Review your list of activities that take time and ask yourself, have you put it all down? All of it, anything that takes time in your life. Things you wanted to do but have not done, things you didn't want to do but have done, things that are incomplete, things that are repetitive, things that will take time. Review it and add anything and everything and continue building that list. 3 minutes, Rajiv Talreja is going to shut up. 2 more minutes. Don't log out of the webinar because you're not writing. I've still not started teaching you. I'm just building the foundation. It's okay. People who participate will get value. 1 more minute. Think every area of your life: work, wealth, relationships, recreation, spirituality, contribution, health. What are the activities you want to do? Ten seconds more and start wrapping up. And stop. List, write the number of things you've listed. Everybody, write down the number of things you listed in the chat box. Even after so much time, some of you not crossed 100. Okay. 100. Quite a few 100. Yes, I'm excited. Very good. 162. 411. Girish, awesome work. Joginder, 1002. How fast did you write? Did you dictate it to yourself? Like, did you sound recorded? Awesome. 1000 is crazy. Harish, 1200. You guys just throwing numbers at me. Okay. That's crazy. That's madness. 1002. Okay, nice. Not yet finished. I know. Not yet finished. Now, firstly, those of you are 30, 40, 50, you would agree on one thing. You didn't write everything that you do. You just wrote as much as you could write, right? Now, let me ask you this. Like I said, I do this exercise with people usually for 2.5 hours, just to prove a point to them on the aspect of time. I've done a shortened version with all of you. Okay, I've done a shorter version with all of you on this exercise for just 10 or 15 minutes. But I want to prove the same point to all of you. Now, firstly, be honest on this one. How many of you felt irritated and exhausted in writing this list? Like, you felt like, how many things are there? If you felt irritated and exhausted, type on me in the chat box. Which is fine. I mean, I don't expect you to be excited saying, yay, Rajiv is making us write a list of everything that takes time. Exactly. Now think about it. Most of us just felt irritated and exhausted. Okay. We felt irritated and exhausted just writing these things. Imagine actually doing so many things in life. Okay. Some of you enjoyed it because you're lovely students. Okay. You're lovely students if you enjoyed it. Okay. But I want you to understand it. If you have to sit and write 1,000, 2,000 things, it can be quite irritating and frustrating. Probably you didn't feel that irritated and exhausted because in 15 minutes I stopped this activity. But when I make people do this for 2.5 hours, imagine doing this for the next 2.5 hours, where you're just sitting and making this list of everything that will take time in your life. Things you need to do, things you want to do, things you didn't want to do, but you did. How many of you feel that that would be exhausting? If you didn't feel exhausted, doing this for 2.5 hours, how many of you feel that would be exhausting? Yeah, Kapil says, I would use the leave webinar button. Exactly. I would do that as well myself. Okay. Now, let me put it this way. The reality is this. The reality is this about time. When you do this. Okay, each one of you shared your feeling, what you felt. Some felt exhausted, some felt irritated, some felt excited, some enjoyed this entire process. But if you do this list in the full form for 2.5 hours, you will definitely feel exhausted. Now I have a question for all of you. Do you feel you can do everything that there is to do in the time you have? Do you feel you can do everything there is to do in the time you have? Yes or no? Okay, no, we all cannot do everything there is to do in the time we have. Okay guys, I'm going to make a request. I'm sorry, I'm alone at home and I have a pup who's 2 months old and he's barking continuously. Can I just go check on him for a minute, because he's a small baby, if that's okay with all of you? Just 1 minute. Okay, sorry, huh? I don't do this usually, but this kid is barking. So sorry guys, so sorry. It's on my to-do list to take care and be a good dad to this crazy fellow. Simba, you play. Take. All right. Okay. He's my first kid and the only one I have. Now, consider this. We all cannot do everything that there is to do in the time that we have. Okay. Now, let me tell you this. Here is where I want to start today's webinar. I'm actually starting now. Here is where I want us to understand this. There are innumerable things for all of us to handle. And while there are innumerable things for all of us to handle, the biggest lie that we've been told is that we need to be good at time management. Time management as a concept is myth. Time management as a concept is a myth. Time management is a notion and it does not work. Now, some of you must be wondering, Rajiv, what are you saying? You are doing a webinar on mastering your time and you're saying time management as a concept is a lie. You're saying time management as a concept is a notion and it does not work. Let me tell you why I'm saying what I'm saying. I know some of you are saying this doesn't make sense. I'll tell you why. Because please understand this. The myth of time management is that you have to get it all done in your life. And the expectation is that you can get it all done. And if you're not able to get it all done, there's something wrong with you. How many of you understand the base of the concept of time management is that if a person is good at managing time, they should be able to do everything. Yes or no? That's the base of the concept of time management. That a person should be able to do everything. That's the basis. But that's why I say it's that basis itself is wrong. That foundation itself is wrong. This myth that you can get it all done and you have to get it all done itself is wrong. That is flawed. Okay. Please understand this. If you do not get it all done in the study of time management, the mindset is if you don't get it all done, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with your skills. And therefore you need to learn how to manage time. That is not a reality. The reality is this. The truth is this. You will never get it all done. Everybody write that down. You will never get it all done in your life. You will always have things that are incomplete. You will always have things that are incomplete. You will always have things that are not paid attention to. You will always have more work to do. You will always have more things to do. How many of you agree? How many of you disagree? You can agree or disagree. I'm okay with both. Type out if you agree or disagree. I'm okay with both. Because I'll tell you one thing. I know a lot of people who, because of this notion or concept called time management, and they're never able to get it all done, no matter how much they plan or how much they don't plan, they end up feeling, oh, mere se time management nahi hota. I can't manage my time. Okay. Now I know Satish is sending a question saying, so the next question is, how can you live an ant life? Hold on, hold on. First, let's digest this. Okay. Now, when I say you will never get it all done, some of you think, oh, that's such a negative statement, Rajiv. Okay. Let me tell you, it's not a negative statement. Negative and positive is your judgment. It's a neutral statement of fact. How you feel about it is your judgment. Some people will look at, you will never get it all done and say, wow, what a relief. If I understand I will never get it all done, I will no longer fight with myself. I won't beat myself up. Some will look at it and say, but no, Rajiv, if I accept that I can never get it all done, I will become lazy. I will then give up. Please understand, I'm making a statement. How you respond to that statement is up to you. That is your personal judgment. How many of you agree? Yes or no? Kalyani says breakthrough. Awesome. I'm glad you got it that fast. Vikas says it's a relief. Awesome. Now, please understand this. I'm making a statement. It is our personal judgments and perceptions now kick in. And some of you are like, Rajiv, you're talking nonsense. Baba, no, wait, truly first understand this. There is so much to get done in life. And the idea of time management is you have to get it all done. And if you're not able to get it all done, there's something missing in you and your skills. Therefore, you have to learn time management. And because of that, we start sometimes beating ourselves up, or some of us give up on it. Please understand this, ladies and gentlemen. The truth is you will never get it all done. Digest it, absorb it. Firstly, you will never get it all done. Digest it and absorb it. Now, if you feel, no, I get every single thing done in my life. Come on, this is not me versus you. This is not about your ego versus my ego. Let's not bullshit. All of us through our childhood till today, we have enough evidence to say we have always had incompletions. We've always had pending things. We've always had stuff that we've not done, stuff that we've left incomplete, stuff that we've done halfway, stuff that we wanted to do but did not do. So our life is a proof of this statement of that where I say you will never get it all done. Your life and my life is an evidence. We don't need better proof than that. If that makes sense, that one makes sense. Some of you are wondering, where is this going? Why is this guy being so negative today? Okay. Now some of you are like, but tell me the solution. There's no solution. This is the reality. First, understand the reality. The need for a solution is coming because you're not comfortable with this statement. The need for a solution is coming because you're not comfortable with the statement that you will never get it all done. You feel this is wrong. This cannot be. Hold, acceptance, absorb, breathe. Let every cell in your body understand this today and accept it today. It's not just understanding. Understanding is logical. Acceptance is emotional. Internalize it. You will never get it all done. Because when you have genuine acceptance, okay, you have genuine acceptance, then you have freedom. Because please understand this. One school of thought is time management. You need to manage time. Okay. Because that notion is you need to get it all done. I am saying you cannot get it all done. That's the fact. You cannot get it all done. That's the fact. And because you cannot get it all done, please understand that the truth is that there is nothing called as time management. There is only one thing, focus management. There's only one thing, focus management. You can't manage time. Time keeps ticking. The only thing you can manage is focus. What are you choosing? What are you choosing? Now, when I say focus management, some of you are like, Appa, at least he's given a solution. But no, please absorb and internalize that reality that you cannot get it all done. And knowing you cannot get it all done, you got to choose what you will focus on. And what you choose to do at any given moment determines the results you produce and the quality of your life you meet, of the quality of life you live. So how many of you realize we need to learn how to master our focus instead of learning how to manage our time? Yes or no? Yes or no? Now, before I move forward and give you tools and templates on how do you manage focus, before I give you some research findings about the concept of time management from some leading behavioral scientists across the world. Before I go there, I want each one of you to type out in a sentence, what did you understand based on what I just spoke to you about? I want you to type out what you understood because it's very important for me that you get this right. Okay. tell me what you understood based on what I said. I said time management is a myth. It's a notion. It expects us to get everything done. And the truth is you cannot get it all done. So you can't manage time. You've got to manage focus. That's all I've said. So what have you understood from it? What have you understood? Chandrakant says most important and most urgent. You've got to check that. Okay. Govind says it's not about time. It's about managing focus. True. Chanchal Batra says set priorities. Exactly. Gurvinder Singh says priority management. Dhruv says time management is not possible. So what did you get? Okay. Vidush Mehta says single task at a time. Exactly. The human brain has a capacity to be in one place and do one thing at a time. And every moment is a moment of time. So we have the capacity to be in one place and do one thing at a time. So we need to know what we are focusing on. Jigna says work on focus management. Okay. Felix says there's nothing like time management. Focus on what you wish to do first. Sawmill. Okay. Boni says focus on quality of work than quantity. Okay. I'm just reading out what you guys are mentioning and I'll tell you what it is not. Okay. What quality of life? And Arden says our KFA is what determines our handling of activities, our key focus areas. Okay. Upen says focus and prioritize your life. Okay. Replace time management with focus management. Nice one, Manav. Sheshu says even if you don't have not done according to the time, don't lose focus. That's an interesting one, Sheshu. I like that one. Even if you've not done what you're supposed to do in the time that you're supposed to do it, don't lose your focus on what you're doing. Okay, so that's a very deep one on being in the present. Ujjwal says, be selective in your approach. When you focus on important things, you can make things work perfectly. Prioritize. Okay, awesome. Someone said, try and try. I'm not saying try and try. No matter how much you try, you will not get it all done. Please understand that. It's not about try and try. No matter how much you try, you will not get it done. You got to choose what will you focus on. You got to choose what's priority. Okay. You got to choose what's priority. Okay. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to give you a framework for decision making, which is called the 5 Ds of prioritization. I'm going to give you a framework of decision making, which is called 5 Ds of prioritization, because everybody's saying priority. So the question is, how do we prioritize? So how many would be interested in learning how do we prioritize? If you'd be interested, type out interested. Now, Dakshay says, can business be a priority against health? Now, Dakshay, that question of business be a priority against health is an or life. It's either business or health. I'm saying let's explore an and life. Business and health, knowing I cannot get it all done, what will I do? Would you be interested in learning that? Because I'm going to, guys, today I will request all of you to have a different learning style. What do I mean by that? I want all of you to take each slide, one slide at a time. In my last slide, I will tie up everything and give you a template. Is that okay, everybody? In my last slide, I will tie up everything and give you a template. Because if you actually think about it, I have contradicted myself quite a number of times in this webinar already. I started by saying all areas of your life are important. Health, wealth, relationships, business, recreation, spirituality, contribution. So I said you need to live an and life, because if you don't live a complete life, then you live this or life, this or that. Okay. On the other hand, I'm saying you cannot get it all done. You will always have more to do than you can do. And you will always have this challenge of how do I manage my time? So I have told you time management is a lie, and I've told you focus is the key. You got to choose what you need to do. So how many of you can see the contradiction? At one level, we are saying and life. The other level, we are saying choose what you want to do. You see the contradiction? It's important you see that contradiction, because I'm going to tie it all up towards the end of this webinar and give you a template to live an and life where you're choosing your focus. Okay. To live an and life and choosing your focus. Now I know you're confused. Confusion is good, because this is brewing you up for a breakthrough. Okay. So before I go there, I will share with you what I call the 5 Ds of prioritization. The first D is called drop it. In your life, there are certain activities we all do, which are absolute time wasters. They don't add value to us. Now, someone once said, oh yes, Rajiv, like checking WhatsApp is a time waster. Watching TV is a time waster. I am sorry, I disagree. You are a social being. You will obviously want to stay connected to people. So you can't discard checking WhatsApp as a time waster. You are a social being. You need some recreation. You can't discard watching TV as a time waster. Okay. But you got to identify things in your life that are not important, that are not urgent, and you're still spending time on them. Those are called time wasters. Things that are not important, things that are not urgent, they are time wasters. And the first thing you need to do with such things is you need to delete such things from your life. You need to drop such things from your life. If you got that, type out got that. I'm going to give you 5 Ds. The first D is drop it. Okay. The second D is stuff that you don't have to do now and it can wait. Those things you can delay it. Things that you don't have to do now. Okay, things you don't have to do right now and they can wait. Those things you got to kind of delay it. And how many of you realize that delaying it is nothing but making a decision in your head and telling yourself clearly, I don't have to worry about that now. Because some of us sit and worry about stuff that is not important, not required to be done now, but we are spending time only thinking and focusing about it. How many of you caught yourself or people around you talking about things that are not happening right now, but they're already planning for it? More than planning, they're actually worrying about it. So you need to be clear, delay it. This is not now. Okay. This is not now. The other is called deceptions. Now, what are deceptions? Deceptions are things that are not your job, but you are doing it. These are things that are keeping you busy. So these are the things you should delegate. Typically in business, these are activities that your team members should be doing, but you are busy doing them. These are activities that your team members should be doing, but you are busy doing that. How many of you do activities that your team members are supposed to do? How many of you are doing things at work that somebody else is supposed to do, but you are doing it? Okay. So these are called deceptions. You know why they are called deceptions? Because somewhere you feel good, you are busy. It makes you feel good. That's why it's deceiving. But the reality is it's not the best use of your time. Like I see business owners sit and do accounts by themselves. They sit and do everything in accounting by themselves. And I always tell them, you can outsource accounts for 4,000 rupees a month to a freelancer. Okay. So you got to not get involved in deceptions because that's not your job. You got to delegate it. Now I know the question is, but what if my team member is not capable enough? Well, then you need to develop them. Now, developing people may not be something that is urgent for you, but it is important. And how many of you realize we keep delaying developing people because it's not urgent? How many of you realize that? We delay things of developing people, teaching people, training people. Though it's important, we delay it because it's not urgent. But if you do not do what's important, then you will always be stuck in firefighting. So anything where it's not urgent, but it's important, you need to develop someone. This is making sense. And finally, things that are necessities, which are both urgent and important, you need to do it. Things that are a part of your role, which are both urgent and important, you need to do it. Now, this is a 5D framework of prioritization. Now, how many of you would like to learn how to do this from a business point of view? How many would like to learn how to do it from a business point of view? Okay. I don't have a slide for it. I teach it at the PACE program, but I'm going to give you some key pointers and I'll tell you in detail, we do this at the PACE program. So I want you to write this down. Role of an entrepreneur. Role of an entrepreneur. Write this down, everybody. Role of an entrepreneur. Write this down. Under that, first priority. Everybody write this down. First priority, management. The 5th D, Selva, is do it. The 5th D is stuff you need to do it. Okay. So role of an entrepreneur, first priority, write down management. Now, below management, everybody write down the first task. So management is your first responsibility, but below management, write your first task. Your first task under management is create clarity of goal. Everybody write, create clarity of goal, comma, create clarity of roles. So write down goals, roles, business model, systems and strategy. So you need to create clarity of goals, roles, business model, systems, and strategy. Under management, that's your first task. If you got that, type out got that. Create clarity of goal, role, business model, systems, and strategies. You need to create that clarity for every department, every team member, and for your entire business. That's your first task. This is your first job. Under management, this is your first task. Once you've created clarity of goals, roles, business models, systems, and strategy, okay, then the second task under management, so we are still management, that's the first priority. The second task under management is do management review meetings. The second task under management is do management review meetings. And in the PACE program, we teach a system called STOP, Strategic, Tactical, Operational Review Meetings. So all of this will fall in place when you learn that. So first task under management, create clarity of goals, roles for people, business model for the overall business, systems and strategies for every department. Once you've created clarity, then second task is do management review meetings, which means you need to review the entire business. Even if you're a solo working entrepreneur, you need to create clarity of goals, your business model, your systems, your strategy. Okay. And you need to do review meetings with yourself to review what you wanted to achieve, what you've not achieved. Okay. So there is a specific template called STOP reviews that we teach at the PACE program. Okay. So that's the second task under management. The third task, do department review meetings. Everybody write this down. Under management, your third task, do department review meetings. Now, management review meetings are for the overall business. You're reviewing the goals, the finances, everything for the overall business. Department review meetings are more qualitative aspects of each department. How many of you realize in a management review meeting, you can't sit and do a dissection of the activities of each department and give feedback and brainstorm ideas for each department. A management review meeting is a more macro review meeting. A department review meeting is a more detailed review meeting. This is making sense. Manav, there's no slide for it. I'm dictating it to you. So that's why the slide is there. Okay. So clarity was your first task. I gave you what are the elements you need to clear clarity on: goal, role, model, system, strategy. Second task as a business owner is do management review meetings, which is for the overall business. Third task is to do department review meetings. Now in department review meetings, put a hyphen and do quality reviews. Put a hyphen and write quality reviews, feedback, brainstorming and delegation of next steps. Quality reviews, feedback, brainstorming, and delegation of next steps. How many of you realize in each department or in each activity of our business, marketing, sales, operations, R&D, accounts, human resources, we need to do quality of the work. We need to review the quality of work of people. We need to give feedback, and then we need to brainstorm and delegate the next steps. If you agree, type out agree. Okay. Then comes your fourth task under management. Your fourth task under management is, okay, your fourth task under management is, let me stop sharing the slide. If the slide is disturbing all of you, you can see me in full screen then. Okay. Your fourth task under management is strategic growth. Your fourth task under management is strategic growth. Now, so someone's asking, what do we do under brainstorming? So you brainstorm the next steps for the department, next initiative for that particular department, next goals for those department, and you delegate those goals to your team members. Okay. Now, once you've got that, strategic growth is your fourth task under management. And under that, okay, here's what I want you to write. Put a hyphen next to strategic growth. Funding, okay, managing the fund flow of your business is a strategic growth activity. Hiring at a senior level, that is something you need to be involved in when you're hiring someone at a senior level. That's a strategic growth activity. Networking is a strategic growth activity. Now, when I say networking, I'm not talking about the networking we do for marketing. I know some of your BNI members, but please understand that is networking for generating leads. I'm talking about strategic networking, attending conferences in your industry, association meetings in your industry where you're building relationships. Okay. So funding, recruitment, networking, and the last strategic growth activity is R&D. In most cases, this falls in the lap of the business owner, which is R&D. Okay. Now, this is your work as a business owner. This is your work as a business owner. But how many of you realize for you to do this work as a business owner, every department in your business has to be set up? How many of you realize to do this work as a business owner, every department in your business has to be set up? Okay, someone is saying that there is no voice. Okay. Clear? Okay, thank you. Now, for the business, every department to be set up, there is work that each one of us need to do, right? So I'm going to pull out what is that work each one of you need to do from one of my PACE slides itself. Let me pull that out for all of you. Let me pull that slide out for all of you. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Yes, on the slide. Okay. So I'm going to paste it over here and I'm going to share the slide with all of you. Now watch. When you all came to the Business Progress webinar, I gave you all the 7 functions required for any business. But now I'm giving you your role. Where should you spend your time? So what I just gave you now is management, which is you need to create clarity of goal, clarity of business model, clarity of role, clarity of your culture and systems and strategies for people. Okay, so this is a slide from PACE. So you'll see PACE implementation there because that's what you learn in PACE. Then you need to do management review meetings. Then you need to do department review meetings where you need to create clarity of goal in the department. You need to hold people accountable by doing reviews, give feedback, mentor people, delegate people. And you need to focus on strategic growth in terms of networking, funding, R&D, and HR. How many of you agree this is the actual role of a business owner with the task of a business owner? Okay, clear? Now, to be able to do this, okay, to be able to do this, listen to this. You need to set up departments. Now, to set up departments, here's what you need to do. Let's understand how you set up departments. Your second responsibility as a business owner is marketing. Now, in marketing, you need to focus on creating the strategy and testing whether the strategy works or not. How many of you agree? You need to create the strategy and test whether the strategy is giving you leads or not. Yes or no? This is the business owner's role, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So you need to test different marketing strategies and see what works. Now, when you identify the strategy that works, you got to build a team where you will decide what will you do in marketing, what will you hire for, what will you outsource, what will you delegate. Only once you're clear which strategy is working, can you build a team. How many of you agree? Yes or no? Only when you're clear what strategy works, what strategy is giving you leads, can you build a team. Otherwise, you'll have people and they'll not know what to do. So you need to do strategy creation, you need to do testing, then you build a team to implement that strategy that works. And then the only thing you need to do is management for measurement. You need to manage marketing for measurement, which is nothing but a department review meeting under management. Now, how many of you can see there are some tasks that are in green here and some tasks are in black here? Can you tell me the difference between the green task and the black task? Anybody? The tasks that are written in green and the tasks that are written in black. Can anybody tell me why is certain tasks written in green and why are certain tasks written in black? Selva, I have shared the screen. Everybody can see the screen. Just swipe right, left if you're attending this webinar on your mobile phone. Okay, so let me tell you, green tasks are one-time tasks. Black tasks are continuous tasks. Okay, so first thing, green tasks are one-time tasks. You will create the goal once, you'll create the business model once, you'll define the role clarity once, you'll design the culture once. But the black tasks are repetitive. You will do consistent management review meetings. You will consistent department review meetings. You will do consistent networking, funding, strategic growth. So black tasks are repetitive. Green are one time. Now, how many of you also agree that if the green task is not done, the black task cannot be done? If you can see that, type out, see that. If the one-time task is not done, then the repetitive task cannot happen. Okay. Because once you create the 2 green tasks in your marketing team, then in your marketing department, then the black task is just a department review meeting. So that's how you build marketing department. Then comes sales. Same thing with sales. As a business owner, will you go for key sales meetings? Yes, you will continue to go for key sales meetings. That will be a continuous task. But what do you need to do? You need to also create the steps, the scripts, the support materials, and develop the skills for selling within your team. So you need to do a lot of sales creation. You need to do a lot of sales creation. Now, once you have decided and developed the steps in sales, the scripts of what to say, what not to say, the support materials to use in sales, and you've developed what is a skill metrics for sales, then you need to continuously train your sales team on these concepts and do role plays with them. So that is the skill development, which is a continuous task. The sales training and role plays, that's a continuous task. Designing the skill metrics is a one-time task. Defining what are those skills is a one-time task. Is that clear, everybody? If that's clear, type out clear. Now, some of you are saying, but won't we evolve the green things? Yes, you may probably review these green things once in a while, once in 3 months, once in 6 months, once a year to evolve them, but they are not daily tasks. Okay, the green need to evolve, but it's not, you don't keep evolving every day. You will review it strategically and evolve it. And you need to do sales performance reviews, which is nothing but a department review meeting in sales where you create corrective actions. That's how you build a sales department. Same thing with operations. You need to design the process, the system, the structure in operations. And then once the process, system, and structure is defined, then all you need to do is time review, cost review, quality review, give feedback, and mentor your operations department, which is nothing but a department review meeting of operations. How many of you realize these are core activities of any business owner, and this is what you need to do? Now, some of you must be wondering, Raji, where is accounts as a department? Well, accounts as a department, you do department review meetings with accounts. You do department review meetings in HR. You do department review meetings in accounts and HR continuously and consistently. But you need to set up all these departments till you are able to play only the role of management. So how many of you see that this is your role and this is the journey you have to take of setting up one department at a time till you reach a stage where the only thing you're doing is management? Yes or no? This is the role of any business owner in their business. This is where you need to invest your time. This is where you need to be focused on setting up one department at a time. Is this making sense? How many of you realize you just take this one slide? You just take this one slide and you plan your business evolution based on this one slide. How many of you realize in the next 6 months, 8 months, a year or year and a half, you would have set up departments in a sequential manner, and the only thing you will be involved in would be department review meetings. Is this making sense, everybody? Let me answer a question that a lot of people often ask me. They ask me, Rajiv, how often should I do department review meetings? How many of you would like to learn how often you should do department review meetings? How to do, that's why you're coming to PACE. Don't worry, couple. That's where I'll teach you all these things on how to do. But this is your role. Okay. Now, let me tell you how often to do department review meetings. Minimum, okay, minimum is monthly department review meetings. Maximum is weekly department review meetings. Minimum is monthly, maximum is weekly. Now, that depends on a few factors. Would you like to know on what factors you should decide whether with this department I should do monthly or weekly or fortnightly? Listen to the factors carefully. If you have a clear system in a department which is producing a result, you have a clear structure in a department which is producing a result, and you have an experienced, competent and capable manager in that department who's able to run that department smoothly, then you need to do only a review meeting once a month. Like say, for example, accounts. If you have an experienced accounts manager and everything in accounts is very streamlined, you don't have to sit every day with that accounts person. Once a month, you do an accounts review meeting where that person presents certain reports to you, you make decisions about cash flows of cash allocation, and you're done. So the frequency of department review meetings depends on the maturity of the department system and strategy and the maturity and capability of the department manager. Does that make sense? But if it is a new department where the strategy is not yet clear, the system is not yet clear, you also have to play hands-on role to figure it out, to test. Let's just say, for example, you start doing marketing, you have to play a hands-on role. Then probably you need to do a department review meeting every week. And if you have a new manager, then probably you have to do a department review meeting every week. And ladies and gentlemen, please understand this. Over a period of time, your frequency of department review meetings reduces. How many of you see that? Because as you stabilize the structure and the strategy in each department, and as you develop the competence of each department manager, your involvement reduces. And even if, listen to this carefully, even if you have the best department manager and the most evolved structure and strategy, you still need to do monthly department review meetings. Ask me why. You still need to do monthly department review meetings. Ask me why. Because you want to stay involved. You want to have clarity. You want to have a sense of control. I have seen business owners who go the other extreme. They build a business which grows without them, and they are so not in touch with the business that their managers hijack the business and the business owner is not in control anymore. So no matter how evolved your business is, you need to do a department review meeting at least once a month. And if you're asking me who all should attend a department review meeting, well, if you're a large organization, the department review meeting is between you and the department head. And the department head has his own bunch of review meetings. But it's a review meeting with you and the department head where you are setting goal clarity for the department, reviewing and holding that person accountable, giving them feedback, delegating new tasks and brainstorming on new things to do and mentoring them. So ladies and gentlemen, how many of you realize it's a journey? It's a journey of building your business one department at a time. Yes or no? It's a journey of building your business one department at a time. And you attain true nirvana. You attain true nirvana only once all the green tasks are done in all departments and you're just involved in the black tasks. And the black tasks are nothing but the department review meetings. Is this making sense? Now, guys, this is not a management training, but this is where your time has to be there. So if you're going to ask me a question like, what about blue collar employees and all of that? They are managed by their teams or their department heads or whatever. That all questions are answered at the PACE program. But I want you to be clear about how your time should be spent in business. This is essentially what is your focus list. Is this making sense? This is your focus management list. I'd love for all of you to take a picture of this slide if you want, but with one commitment, you will apply it. You will not supply it on WhatsApp groups because people want to understand anything. And this is my content. I'm giving it to you because you're a paid customer. Don't distribute it. Okay. Now, Madhav's question is why finance and HR is not included. Madhav, I've just restricted it to core departments of marketing, sales, and operations. You still will do department review meetings with finance and HR. I mentioned that as well. You will still do department review meetings with finance and HR. What is the STOP system? That's a management review meeting system that I teach at the PACE program. That's strategic meetings, tactical meetings, operational meetings. P stands for performance review meetings. So it is strategic, tactical, operational, performance review meetings. You'll all learn that at the PACE program. Strategic meetings happen once in 45 days. Tactical meetings happen once in 14 days. Operational meetings happen once every day for 15 minutes only. So the only commitment I will require from all of you after the PACE program is 15 minutes every day to manage your business. How many of you are willing to give that commitment? That's how you will learn how to create the structure of your business. 15 minutes every day, how to manage your business. That's to the level of simplicity we're going to take it in the PACE program. Does that make sense? But this is how, but to reach that stage, you have to go through these phases. Just clarify. To reach that stage, you have to go through these phases. Okay. Yes, setting up HR and finance is also the role of a business owner. Okay. So we can go to that level, but management is your core activity. So this is your focus areas. How many of you are clear about your focus areas as an entrepreneur, as a business owner? If you're clear, type out clear. How many of you will use this focus areas as your journey of evolving your business? Because can I tell you something? That you know when your business will become stable and successful? Ask me when. You know when your business will become stable and successful? When you stop firefighting, when you stop doing everything that there is to do. And for that, you need to be clear. This is my focus area. This is the approach I have to take. Set up one department at a time. So the doing those tasks in green is very, very important. Those green tasks are very, very critical because they are one-time tasks. Does that make sense, everyone? So that was a detour I took on how you manage your time in your business in terms of your role. Now, let's come back to the holistic life element and let's talk about what are some research findings on time management that have a deep impact on all of us as entrepreneurs and all of us as human beings. This research was done by a behavioral scientist whose name is Dr. Donald E. Wetmore. Okay. Dr. Donald E. Wetmore did a research on time management for a period of 18 years. And after 18 years of research, these were his top 3 findings. Are you ready to see what was the top 3 findings on time management after 18 years of research? Are you ready, everybody? Okay. First, research. Research has shown that 1 hour of planning will save you 10 hours of doing. What do we mean by that? If you spend 1 hour every day on planning, then your efficiency will be super high. Your effectiveness will be super high. Your productivity will be super high in 10 hours of doing. Now, when I talk about planning, I want to check how many of you here do planning and how many of you don't do planning. Be honest. There's nothing to show off. If you do planning, type do planning. If you don't, type don't. I'll talk to you about the trap of planning in a moment. There are 2 traps in planning. First one is not planning. Second one is over planning. Some people don't plan at all. Some people over plan, which means they will plan every minute of their 8 hours of work. And when they plan every minute of their 8 hours, they fall short of achieving those deliverables every day. And there's always a carry forward. Okay. And some people don't know how to plan, so they don't plan. But I want you to understand, Donald E. Wetmore, he said, 1 hour of planning will save you 10 hours of doing. And I'll give you a template for planning that I use that works like magic. The second thing that Donald E. Wetmore said was this: the average person gets 1 interruption every 8 minutes. 1 interruption every 8 minutes is approximately 7 interruptions in 1 hour. And that is approximately 50 to 60 interruptions in a day. And the average interruption defocuses you for at least 5 minutes. Now watch, 50 to 60 interruptions in a day with an average defocus time of 5 minutes per interruption. That's close to 300 minutes of defocus. Okay, 300 minutes of distraction. That is nothing but 5 hours to 4 to 5 hours of distraction. Totaling about 4 hours is like 50% of an average work day. Now, question, what is an interruption? An interruption is anything. An interruption could be a WhatsApp message. An interruption could be somebody from your team saying, I want to talk to you for 2 minutes. An interruption could be an email. An interruption could be a call from somebody else, from some customer. How many of you agree? We all face these kind of interruptions. Yes or no? Now watch. Listen to this. This is so interesting. What fundamentally the research says, this is not Rajiv Talreja, this is Donald E. Wetmore saying, after 18 years of research, that 4 hours of your work day every day is spent on interruptions. 4 hours of your work day every day is spent on interruptions. Okay. Now, what does that tell you about planning for 8 hours every day? Imagine if you plan for 8 hours every day and 4 hours is going in interruptions, what do you think is happening every day? What do you think is happening every day? You're planning for 8 hours, 4 hours goes in interruptions or distractions. Okay. There's 4 hours of incompletion every day, 4 hours of feeling frustrated and irritated every day, 4 hours of getting of work piling up every day, unfinished log every day. Okay. So it's making you frustrated, makes you upset, it makes you irritable. Okay. Eventually it makes you give up on planning. You know, a lot of people say, Rajiv, I don't plan because planning does not work. Yeah. No matter how much we plan, we don't achieve our plan. What's the point of planning? A lot of people say that. Okay. But here's the real lesson. Would you like the real lesson, everybody? How many of you like the real lesson? Plan, but plan only for 4 hours in a day. That's the real lesson. Plan only for 4 focused hours every day. How many of you think that makes sense? Because think about it. Think about it. A lot of us do a lot of things that have very little value. A lot of us do a lot of things that have very little value. And there are days where we worked 14 hours doing little things. And even after working for 14 hours, how many of you felt frustrated thinking, today I didn't really do much. I couldn't get something substantial done. How many of you have experienced that? If you've experienced that, type out experience that. On the other hand, how many of you have experienced this? You worked only for 2 or 3 hours in the day, but you got done what was important. You got done what can create progress towards your goals. And when you've done that, you feel fulfilled. You sleep with a smile. You sleep with a smile. If you've experienced that, type out experience that. So it's not how much you do. It is what you do that matters and that impacts your results and quality of life. It's not how much. It is what you do that is more important. It is what you do that is more important. And please understand this. Planning for more than 4 hours in a day is setting up yourself for failure. It is not just failure of not being able to do, it's also failure in terms of it reduces your confidence. It makes you frustrated. It makes you worried. It creates and develops more and more anxiety. Ladies and gentlemen, follow the research. Plan for 4 hours. Follow the research. And you will see 4 focused hours are way more powerful than 12 hours of defocused hard work. And then the last thing, I'll give you an example of planning for 4 hours. Okay. Yeah, I'm talking in the context of work. Plan for 4 hours in the context of work. Out of 8 hours, plan for 4 hours for work. Okay. The last thing that he said is that the most powerful word in time management vocabulary, according to Donald E. Wetmore, is the word no. And most people don't like to say a no. Most people don't know how to say a no. Most people feel fear in saying a no. So they become a temple bell, mandir ka ghanta. Anybody comes and rings them and they'll start doing whatever people ask them. Don't give your time to people who demand it. Give your time to things and people who deserve it. We have a lot of emotional fears about saying no. What if I say no? What if that person feels bad? When I ask, they will not give no. You got to learn how to say no in a manner which is respectful, in a manner which is assertive. You're not trying to disrespect or hurt a person or be unsupportive. You're just being clear. You're just being clear. Like, I'll give a simple example. I get a lot of messages from people. Rajiv, can I please get on a 5-minute call with you on 5 minutes? I just want to tell you my business problem. 5 minutes, I want to talk to you. Now, you know what? On an average, I get at least 300 to 400 such messages every week on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Now, if I have the fear of saying no, what do you think will happen to my life? What do you think will happen to my life? Okay. Game over. Game over. What do? I say no respectfully. I say, look, I get many such requests. If you need anything, ask me the question. I will respond to you if I can answer it on the chat box. If not, you can connect with my team members. Okay, if you have any queries about our services, I'll put you across to my team member. So ladies and gentlemen, we can say no in a respectful manner. And please understand this, when you've said no in a respectful manner and the other person still feels offended, then it's not your shit, it is their shit. They need to learn how to clean it. Don't become a people pleaser. The biggest trap a lot of entrepreneurs fall into is that they become people pleasers. Customer calls 10 times, oh yeah, customer. That person becomes customer before you know. So be very careful and learn how to say no. That's an important communication skill. Okay, that's a very important communication skill. Now, one thing is this. Learning these 3 facts, what will you do differently? I want to ask you, what will you do differently learning these 3 facts? First fact number 1, okay, let's go back. Fact number 1, 1 hour of planning will save you 10 hours of doing. Second fact, average person gets 1 distraction every 8 minutes. That's 50 to 60 distractions per day. That's 4 hours of work. Okay. Third, learning to say no is the most important word in time management. If there is something called time management, what will you do differently? Everyone, what will you do differently learning this? Type out what will you do differently in the chat box. Okay. Neha says set everyday goals a day prior. That's a good one. Vivek says plan only for important tasks and say no to others. That's a good one. Dakshay Shah says planning. Satyendra says plan for focused 4 hours. Pramod says learn how to say no. Mayank says plan 4 hours and see the effect. Okay. Murli says reduce time wasters, email, WhatsApp. Okay. Set goal for a week, priority, goal setting. Okay. Say no, dedicate time to plan. Girish. Okay. Nice. Plan only for 4 hours. Every morning plan for 4 hours. Okay. So a lot of you are talking about planning and a lot of you are talking about getting rid of distractions. Let me tell you, you can't get rid of distractions. Distractions will exist. So let's focus on 4 hours of planning. Okay. Satish says, so if we are spending 1 hour on planning, then we are effectively getting only 3 hours only for doing. Satish, that's a very interesting twist. I've never had someone say that. Okay. Now, a lot of us are talking about planning, okay, and saying no with confidence. Okay. Make notes. Okay. Chandrakant says, make notes. Arden says, list what's important, plan accordingly. 4 hours of you, remaining 2 hours of for your team. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Mohit says plan high value activities. Okay. Now, how many of you would like a system of planning and doing? A system of planning and doing, where you plan and do. If you like a system, type out yes. Okay. So I have a system and I'm going to give you that template in the slide and I'm going to demonstrate to you how I use it. Okay. I call this system an and life planner. Okay. Let me show you this system. You choose 1 hour as your time in silence in the morning or in the night based on your comfort. Some of your early morning risers, keep 1 hour for yourself in silence early in the morning. Some of your night people, keep 1 hour of silence for yourself in the night. Now, what do you do in that silence for 1 hour? I'm not saying meditation. I'm not saying meditation. Okay. I'm going to give you a template of what you will do in this 1 hour. But firstly, how many of you are willing to commit that 1 hour as your time? That's like my time. How many of you are willing to commit that 1 hour? Because if you can't give 1 hour to yourself in your own life, please think about it. Is it really your life then? Because if you can't give 1 hour to yourself in your own life, then that calls for an emergency. 1 hour, morning or night. People ask me, Rajiv, do you recommend waking up early in the morning or do you recommend staying up late in the night and doing stuff? I say, do what works for you. I was a night person for so many years. Now I've shifted to a very early morning lifestyle. So you got to do what works for you. Don't give in to any person saying morning risers only become millionaires, night late people don't make any money. No, that's not true. The key is to do what works for you. So you need to be aware and be clear what is your time. And if it's morning, what's that 1 hour? If it's night, what's that 1 hour? Now in this 1 hour, I call this the hour of power, where you practice this template. So here's an and life planner template. The first 30 minutes is called goal focus. I'd like all of you to make a note of this. The first 30 minutes of that 1 hour is called goal focus section. Now, what do you do in the goal focus section? In the first 5 minutes of those 30 minutes, you read and write and you visualize your dream list, your long-term goal list, your life goals, your year goals. Like I'll show you how I do it. Okay. I have this planner that I use. It's called the And Life. Okay. I've been using this system for myself. Let me show you. Now in this planner, I talk about the concept of And Life, and I have all the areas of life listed over here. You know, health, wealth and finance, relationships, business, recreation, contribution, learning, and spiritual growth. So all those 7 spheres are here. And I have a template for relationship goals. I write relationship goals. Okay. I know you can't see, but I'm just showing you that this is how the template looks. You don't have to use this sheet as it is or this diary as it is. I'm giving you the template. You can do it in your own way, or you can get this as well. So I'm giving you the template essentially. So for the first 5 minutes every day, I read out and write sometimes my big goals, my long-term dreams, my life goals in all these areas, my relationship goals, my financial goals. Okay. In my financial goals, I've broken it down into investment goals, saving goals, asset goals, possession goals. So there's stuff like I've written stuff like, okay, equity portfolio, long-term goal. Okay. I've written like a 3-year goal for myself. For me, 3 years is long-term. So I've written like a 3-year goal that by 2024, equity portfolio of 30 crores, mutual fund of 20 crores. Now these are long-term goals. I don't have that much of an investment portfolio at this point of time. So that's a part of my investment goals. My savings goal has, okay, I want to have gold and silver worth these many lakhs of rupees. My cash in bank has to be this much. These are long-term goals, and you are reading these goals every day for 5 minutes and visualizing. Why do you think it is important to read these goals or write these goals repeatedly? What do you think happens when you write your long-term goals repeatedly? Can anybody tell me? What do you think happens when you write your long-term goals repeatedly? Okay, it's a brain wiring. Exactly. It's been proven, ladies and gentlemen, the more you keep visualizing, the more you keep writing stuff, you're wiring and conditioning your brain. So this is not some voodoo magic or tantra. This is quantum physics. Okay, this is quantum physics. It's a law of manifestation. You're programming yourself. So every day, 5 minutes in the morning, how many of you, or 5 minutes in the night in your first, that 1 hour of silence, how many of you think you can do this? You can read or write your long-term goals. So I have like financial goals, then relationship goals, then these are my business goals that I write for my businesses, then my health goals, my learning goals, my contribution goals, my recreation goals. So for me, this is a system. Now, this is long-term goals. Every day you visualize, every day you see stuff. Okay, it's like you imagine being in that moment, experiencing. You imagine opening your money control account and you're seeing your portfolio to grow to 30 crores on a particular day. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but you do this every day. You're wiring yourself. You're wiring your brain. Okay. So every day, 5 minutes, you read or write and visualize your dream list, your long-term list. Now, how many of you realize for you to do this, firstly, you need to create goals in all those 7 areas of health, wealth, relationships, business, spirituality, contribution, recreation. Like, you know, a lot of people keep referring to this world map of mine. And they say, Rajiv, such a beautiful world map. You know, this world map is actually my travel goals. If you go closer on that world map, every country has a pin, a place to put a pin. And I put a pin there that looks exactly like this. What you see here is actually BR, Bhakti and Rajiv. So me as a couple, we have like a goal, 150 countries in the next 25 years. That's the goal. We've done 19 countries. Every country we do, we put that pin. So there's BR, BR, BR written. So you visualize. You got to surround yourself with stuff. In all 7 areas of your life, you need to have goals, ladies and gentlemen. 5 minutes of visualization. That's your first 30 minutes. That is long-term goals. Then the next 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes is you review your medium-term goals. Now, what are your medium-term goals? Your medium-term goals are your month goals and week goals. Okay, let me show you. Now, I break down my long-term goals into what I call a dreams achievement calendar here. Now, I have a calendar where I break down investment, savings, necessities, contribution, enjoyment, education, the 6 ways of using money. And I have a monthly goal for each area. In my investments are broken down: equity, how much do I want to invest every month? Mutual fund, how much do I want to invest every month? Business investments, if I want to invest in new businesses, how much do I want to invest in a year? Property for rent, properties that I want to buy for rental income, how much do I want to invest? Then in savings, I have my PPF goals, my property for sale, gold and silver purchase, cash savings. In my necessities, I have my home expenses, okay, my car EMI, my home appliances, anything that I need is listed over here. In my enjoyment, in my contribution, I have what are the areas I want to contribute to: education, health, all of that. So all of this I put down enjoyment. So this is my year calendar, and then I break down the year into month. Okay, so I have my business goal sheet. All of these templates are there in that. Now let me show you. This is the part I wanted to show all of you. Please watch this. What I need all of you to do is this. You need to break down your month and your weekly goals this way. So these are goals for the month of February. Now, based on your role, listen, based on your role, I said your role as a business owner is management. Okay. So I have management, and I write down for the month of February, what all do I need to do in management? What all I need to do? I'm involved in training. What all I need to do in training? Guys, you don't have to see what I have written there. I am telling you how I structure the goal. So there's a goal sheet for the month. Then that goal sheet gets broken down for the week. And that goal sheet, so I break it down into a week, and that week gets into a daily calendar. So if you can see, there's a daily calendar here. There's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday written. But on this side, there's a week goal. So goal for the month. So there's a template for writing goals for the month based on my role. Management, I'm involved. Marketing, I'm involved. So I have what I need to do in marketing. Sales, certain things I'm involved. I have what I have to do in sales. Training, I am involved in my business. I do what I have to do in training. How many of you realize, based on your role, if every week you put task under each responsibility, you will create progress in every department based on what you have to do? Does that make sense, everybody? Yes or no? So month goals in each area of the business. What will you get done for the month? Broken down into week goals. Now these week goals get calendared into daily, and times get blocked. Okay. So there's 10 minutes to review your medium term goals. So what I do is I review my month goal and my week goal. And then 15 minutes, I write my action steps for the day. Stuff that I will do today. Every day I write what will I do today, and that's not for more than 4 hours. Unless and until it's an event for 8 hours or 10 hours, then that day is blocked for that. But otherwise, from a task point of view, it's not work planned for more than 4 hours. Now, ladies and gentlemen, question. Every day 30 minutes, broken into 5 minutes of reading and writing and visualizing your long-term goals, 10 minutes of reviewing your month goals and week goals, and 15 minutes of writing your daily goals for the day. If you do this in the morning, you are doing it for the day. If you do this in the night, you're doing it for the next day. How many of you realize 30 minutes in silence, you do this every day, you will have clarity of focus and prioritization. If you realize that, type out realize that. Okay. Now, let me show something interesting to all of you. Okay. You don't just write stuff you will do in a month or a week in your business. You also write stuff you will do in your personal life. Like you see your personal life, there are stuff that is our personal life. Corbett booking. I was going on a vacation to Jim Corbett. So I write that. Okay. Turkey booking. I was going on a vacation to Turkey. I write that. Okay. Equity meeting with my investing mentor, Nilesh. I write that. Then I'm going through laser treatment. I write that. Then yoga. I write yoga. Then my packing for travel. I write that. The mistake people make is that they don't write their personal goals in all those other areas. Now watch how this system comes together. When you use the templates, okay, when you use the templates, say for example, here you have contribution goals of charity. Now, when you have contribution goals of charity, you know, okay, this month I need to do some charity. So you figure it out that, okay, in the month of Feb, I've written charity. So in Feb, there has to be something that I have to do for charity. Then you put it in one of the weeks of Feb and you get it done. Ladies and gentlemen, The game is simple. You create macro, from macro, you drop it into micro, from micro, you make it daily, from daily, you make it hourly. And that's how you plan your day using this 30-minute goal focus of the hour of power. And you make progress in all 7 areas of your life. Then 20 minutes, then 20 minutes is for learning focus. Remember this, 30 minutes is goal focus, 20 minutes is for learning focus. And in learning focus, you have 10 minutes of reading something new. Read anything new. How many of you here struggle with reading? If you struggle with reading and you're not a reader, type out me in the chat box. Welcome to the club. I struggle with reading. People think, oh, Rajiv is an author, he'll be a well-read person. I have read only 3 books in my life till today. Only 3 books. My learning style is not reading. I've only read 3 books in my life. Now watch. But still, here's what I do. 10 minutes of reading every day. 10 minutes of reading something new. And after 10 minutes of reading something new, 10 minutes of writing what I learned. 10 minutes of writing what I learned. Now tell me something, ladies and gentlemen, every day 10 minutes you read something and then you write what you learned. How many of you are realizing you're internalizing the learning and every day you're growing in your knowledge and your capability? If that makes sense, type out makes sense. And lastly, the last 10 minutes. So you have 30 minutes of goal focus every day, 20 minutes of learning focus every day, 10 minutes of building focus. 10 minutes of building focus. Now, what is building focus? This is where you either meditate for 10 minutes at least, or you pray if you believe in prayer, or you just sit in silence. Because just sitting in silence and spacing yourself out or surrendering yourself to some kind of prayer or some kind of meditation just expands your energy aura like nothing else can. How many of you think you can do this 60 minutes, 1 hour every day using this template and really see that this will take your life to the next level? And it's about doing it by yourself. Because you know what? Being with yourself is one thing we all need to learn. Guys, let me share something with you. I started using this system, including my money management system, my money management system, especially in 2014. And when I started using that money management system in 2014, based on this dreams achievement calendar here that I showed you, my collective income along with my wife was 60,000 rupees a month. Today, I have an 8-figure investment portfolio in the stock market from there to here. I have an 8-figure property portfolio for myself, all because I followed this system of living an ant life. In the last 4 years, I've traveled 19 countries, not for work, but for vacation. All because I have an ant life system. I have certain rules and principles I used to follow to live an ant life. And essentially, where all of this comes together is in that 1 hour time I spend with myself every day. Because I know when I do that 1 hour of my time, where there's 30 minutes goal focus, 20 minutes learning focus, 10 minutes of just pure prayer or building focus or meditating, then the game changes. The reason I call it an and life, because most people live an or life, health or wealth or relationships or business or this. I say no, it is health and wealth and relationships and business and spirituality and contribution. It's everything. Okay. Now, I've given you this template. I am open to any questions around this topic of managing your time. I've given you your role as a business owner. I've given you a template that you need to start using so you can master every area of your life. Okay, if you have any questions, type it in the chat box and we'll do question answers for the next 20 minutes. So let me go into questions. I'm seeing some questions in the chat box. Chetan Sood asks, can you give an example of a relationship goal? Well, Chetan, here are some examples of a relationship goal. A relationship goal could mean, firstly, it could mean from who you want to be in a relationship. Like I'll tell you one of my relationship goals. Let me show you one of my relationship goals. One of my relationship goals is to be candid, which is open, and to be a listener. And I'll tell you, I created this goal because I saw with my parents, sometimes I'm not candid. I just like, I'm like, it's okay, leave it. but I wouldn't express myself fully. And with my sisters, I'm not a good listener. I always am giving advice. So I set a relationship goal for myself. With parents, be candid, be open. Tell them what they're doing right. Tell them what they're not doing right. With my sisters, stop judging and sitting and giving trainings to them also. Be a listener. That's a relationship goal. Okay. Relationship goal can also be rituals. Sorry, Simba. Okay. Relationship goals can also be rituals. Like, for example, I have a ritual. Every week, my parents come over to my house and they stay once a week. Every week, me and my wife go to my parents' house, and one night we are there once a week. And every week, once a week, we go out. Now, let me tell you something. I know people who live with their own parents, but they don't have any conversation and connection. So we are very clear. For us, connection and conversation is more important than living under one roof. So these are rituals. No matter which part of the world I'm in, every day I have a ritual. 15 minutes call with dad, 15 minutes call with mom, just to connect what's happening, because I travel 15 to 18 days in a month. That's a pretty crazy lifestyle I have. Of course, now under lockdown, this is the longest time I've ever been at home. Okay. So these are examples of relationship goals. Okay. Other example of relationship goal, which is tied up with recreation goal. Once a year, an abroad vacation with my parents. Once a year, an abroad vacation with my wife's parents. These are a part of a relationship, yet recreation goals. So you can have relationship goals in terms of who you want to be, relationship goals in terms of rituals you will follow, relationship goals in terms of experiences you want to experience together. I hope that makes sense, Chetan. Okay. Jatin Mahajan asks, how do you learn? I have mentors, Jatin. I have mentors for every area of my life. I have a mentor for training. I had a mentor for spiritual growth. She passed away in March. I have a mentor for my equity investment. I have mentors for every area of my life. I have a simple philosophy. If you want to be the best, work with the best, learn from the best. Okay. I have a fitness coach. Okay. I invest in learning. Okay. Questions. Do you have any ready templates? Mayank, this entire And Life Planner is a ready template. If you'd like to explore it, this is a link where you can get this same And Life Planner. And this planner comes with a video training on how you use it. So it comes with a video training where I've broken down each page and how you do it. So it's a complete system called how to create an And Life. That's what this planner is. So that's the template you can use, Mayank. If you want a ready template, you can get the And Life Planner using that link. Okay. Satish asks, is there any app or of Life Planner that you could recommend? Satish, I'll tell you why I don't recommend an app. Study, and why have I not developed an app? I could have developed an app out of this. The reason I've not developed an app out of this system is because studies have proven that when you write, you internalize. Somewhere with apps and technology, we are becoming slaves of technology and we are losing our internalizing system. So Satish, even if I know an app, I will tell you, use writing as a method. There's nothing more powerful than that. Pratik asks, can you repeat the 7 areas? Pratik, write this down. Health, wealth, relationships, business, recreation, contribution, spirituality. Let me repeat that. Health, wealth, relationships, business. Business is different from wealth. Business generates income. How you manage that income, how you use that income, how you save that income, how you invest that income determines your wealth. So wealth is largely your investments and savings. So health, wealth, relationships, business, recreation, travel, sports, socializing, all of this is recreation. Spirituality and contribution. These are 7 areas. Jatin asks, can you repeat STOP? STOP is a meeting system. It stands for strategic, tactical, operational, performance reviews meetings. So P stands for performance review meetings. So there are 3 types of meetings that every business needs. They need a strategic meeting once in 45 days, tactical meeting once in 14 days, operations meeting every day for 15 minutes. So in PACE program, we have templates for all these 3 types of meetings. Saumil Shah says, please share the previous slide of research. Okay. Here's the research slide, Saumil. I hope you find that useful. Mayank, template format, I answered that. Anuj Mittal says, thank you, Rajiv, for showing the light. I think this is the most powerful thing you've ever taught. Well, you're just starting a journey with me. There's a lot more powerful things that I teach. Don't worry, but I'm glad you found this useful. Okay, example of 4 hours of planning. Okay, let me show you an example of 4 hours of planning. Okay. Now, say, for example, let's pick this particular day, which is 25th of February. Okay. You see, even stuff like dentist is planned. Then DC interviews. That's 2:30 to 4. UN conference and Infinity Mail 4 to 6. That's it. I planned only two things for that day: interviews for my company Dreamcraft, and there was a UN conference that I was discussing with United Nations. So that meeting online, and an email to a company that I had to send. That's it. That's 4 hours of work for the day. Nothing else planned. So every day is like that. Now you see, this has a lot of shabby tasks. So there's a lot of scratching. These are minute things also that I do, I write, but it's not exceeding 4 hours of work. Okay. So that's an example, Afif, of 4 hours of planning. Girish says 10 minutes reading. I don't need newspapers. So can it be book or read a little bit every day? Girish, I would recommend you don't read newspapers. Reading newspapers is not called reading and learning. Reading newspapers is called polluting your mindset. Okay. So I'm not talking about, I'm talking about reading anything with regard to a skill you want to acquire, knowledge you want to acquire, science you want to explore. So that's what I'm talking about, 10 minutes of reading, Girish. Okay. I'm going to go back to this template like this. Okay. Vinay says, can you show how we've broken down the structure? Well, Vinay, the structure is very simple. Step 1, long-term goals in 7 areas: relationship goals, financial goals. Okay, financial goals broken into investment, savings, assets, and possessions I want to have. Then business goals, then health goals, learning goals, okay, recreation goals, contribution goals. So that's long-term. Long-term broken down into an annual calendar. Okay, long-term broken into an annual calendar. So all of these are long-term goals here. Okay, this is like 3 years, 5 years. And then it's broken into an annual calendar of each area of my life. Every month, how much money and what I need to do which month is broken down. From there, what's broken down is monthly goals. From monthly goals, based on the role of a business owner, what I shared with all of you: management, what do I need to do? Personal, what do I need to do? Creation, what do I need to do? Training, what do I need to do? Marketing, what I need to do? And then from there, broken down into week broken down into a daily calendar that looks like this. So every week has the week calendar here, day calendar here, week calendar here, day calendar here. So that's how this works. Okay. So that's the structure. So it's largely taking long-term goals, breaking down into annual goals, annual into monthly, monthly into weekly, weekly into daily. It's called chunking. It's called chunking, but doing it in all 7 areas of life. That's what creates progress. Ronak asks, can you give an example of spiritual goals? Well, I'll tell you what is my definition of spirituality. My definition of spirituality is evolution. And my method of evolving as a person is taking on learning new things and taking on new experiences. So learning goals can become are a part of your spiritual goals. Okay. New experiences you want to experience are a part of spiritual goals. Like I'll tell you, Simba, my pup, we got him a month back. He's 2 months old. I have since childhood had a fear of dogs. And as a part of my spiritual growth, for my spirit to evolve and my soul to evolve, I set a goal this year that, okay, I'm going to overcome this fear and I'm going to take care of a pup at home. And I can tell you that since the day he's come into my life has changed. He's therapy for me. So that's a spiritual goal. Now, spiritual goals for some people may mean religious rituals, going to a pilgrim. I love visiting temples. I have those kind of goals. I visit Haridwar once a year just to do nothing but sit by the Ganga for a full day. So you can have your own spiritual goals, your own definition of spirituality, things you want to learn. Like one of the things on my list is to go learn Vipassana, to live in 14 days of pure silence. Now I take on such experiences in life. Okay, take on such experiences in life. You know, most people live a very boring life, home to office, office to home. And you know why they live a boring life? They live a boring life because they don't have enough time to think. But when you have 1 hour every day for yourself, then you start creating, you start becoming creative. What can I do? What else do I want to try? What else do I want to do? Okay. I have a bucket list of things I want to do in life. I wanted to go watch the Boxing Day test match in Melbourne on in MCG. I did that last year. Guys, we have been given one life. If we don't create goals in every area of our life, we are missing out on life. Please understand that. Karthik says, how can we write all life goals in just 5 minutes? Karthik, you spend a lot of time in creating your life goals. Writing, that daily writing exercise is like repeating writing some things You don't have to write everything, but it's largely visualization. It's largely reading and internalizing and reminding yourself. My wife and I, every year, take one vacation, which is called a dreaming vacation. And the idea of a dreaming vacation is not to go do sightseeing. We identify a place where we just go for 3 days, where we don't even get out of that place. It is pure luxury. And we sit and dream. Ladies and gentlemen, dreaming is an important activity. Not many people do it. But here's the beauty. Dreams come true, provided you dream it enough. Okay, so you got to get creative with your life. Okay. Anuj Mittal, do department meetings also count in the 4-hour planning? Yes, they're a part of your 4-hour planning. So you block your department meetings so you know the time is blocked. Ankit says, yesterday I saw the video Family Goals. It was amazing. Guys, I would recommend that video. It's on my Facebook page. It's also on my YouTube channel, How to Set Goals as a Family. Please watch that along with your family. You know, why am I a business coach? Do you guys want to know why am I a business coach? Ask me why. It's on my YouTube channel, that Family Goals. I'm not a business coach because I love business. I'm a business coach because I love family. And I believe that small and medium entrepreneurs do whatever they do for their family. And when their business improves, their quality of life for their family improves. So that's my ultimate mission, to create happier families. I feel as a culture, we are one of those few cultures in the world that still has family together. But some of us live a very unhappy family life. And one of those reasons for an unhappy family life is lack of money. But when your business grows and you build a business which can grow without you, you can truly experience life with your family. How many of you think that makes sense? I have a full 1-hour video, which is on YouTube, on my YouTube channel called Family Goals. That's why I'm passionate about small and medium entrepreneurs. I prefer working with small and medium entrepreneurs than large corporates. Because I know small and medium entrepreneurs have heart. They do what they do for their families. Large corporates is a system. Okay. Awesome. I'll continue answering your questions. If that link is not working, just reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram, and I'll put you across. I'll share that link with you, or another link for And Life Planner. Some of you are commenting link not working. Don't worry, I'll figure a way out. We are here. Okay, you know how to reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Manish says, how do you move from just thinking to actual doing it? For example, doing charity. Okay, so I'll tell you a system of moving from thinking to doing. First, I'll give you an example of one area where I use it very powerfully. How many of you always keep planning vacations, but you never take vacations? How many of you keep planning vacations, but you never take vacations? Okay, let me tell you a system I use, and I find it very powerful. Of course, I can't use it this year, but I've been using it just for 4 years. Here's how I have completed 19 countries so far. I have a goal, 4 countries every year. Okay, it started with 3 countries. Now it's become 4 countries every year. Now, here's what I do. I have a simple rule. I book, firstly, you got to book the tickets first, because this thing of I'll book later never happens. So it's your first one that you have to book. But when you are finishing your first vacation, the second last day of the first vacation, you need to book your tickets for the next one. You will not leave this destination unless your next one tickets are not booked. Now I'll tell you why this is so important. Because I'll tell you one thing I've realized. As business owners, you will always be busy. There will never come in a time in your life where work will get over and then you will be free. How many of you agree? There will never come a time in your life where work will get done and you will be free. So here's a philosophy I have. You book your holidays, you plan your work around your holidays. I think that works more, because you get work done and you go for the holiday. Otherwise, you will only work and never go for that holiday. It's a rule. It's a rule. Okay. Before we leave the destination, second last day, tickets have to be booked for the next one. And that's why having annual goals of which all places we want to cover is very, very important. Okay. So I hope that answers your question on how do you turn knowing to doing. Like even with charity, what I have found is very effective is I pick and choose the NGOs whose credibility I have checked, and I commit to them a certain amount every year. So they follow up. They follow up. Okay. That's a way you make sure you get it done. Okay. That's a way you make sure they get it done. They follow up with you saying, okay, sir, this payment is due to children's education. You had promised. So say, okay, done. Here's the check. Take it and go. Okay. So that's how you see the initial part of searching, identifying is the time taking one. But once you find it, then you just set up systems with them as well. Awesome. Let's come to more questions. Okay. 1 second. I just lost all questions. Where are we? Okay. So I answered the question of Vinay. No. 1 second. Karthik, how? Okay, this is done. Do department meetings done. Family goals video done. How to get the planner? That's the link. If that link is not working, just go on my website, Rajiv Taleja. You'll search in products and life planner. You'll find it. If not, drop me a message on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'll send you a link later. Okay. Shubham says, do we get to learn all of this in PACE program? No, PACE is purely for your business. This is all supporting whatever you have to do in PACE, and PACE will support this. This is more the holistic view of life. Okay. Anirudh, I am slow in finishing my work. Therefore, every day my tasks unfinished and carry on. How to organize this? Speed is a result of competence. Anirudh, speed is a result of competence. Think about it. The more you do something, the more your capacity grows to do it faster. So when we are doing stuff newly for the first time, we will be slow, which is okay. Okay. And please understand this. Never pressure yourself because of time. See, time is also such a dangerous element that it can lower your confidence. How many of you agree? So let time not pressure you. Use time to make sure you manage your focus, but don't let time pressure you. Rajendra says, your business mentor. Well, in the area of business, I don't have a mentor, but I have a mastermind group with whom I brainstorm about my business challenges. They brainstorm about their business challenges. So I have a mastermind group. But again, I have people like Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw that I fall back upon sometimes for advice because I have access and reach to her. So she's somebody I look up to as a mentor. So if you ask me my business mentor in that way, someone like Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw and Ashok Soota, these two people top that list. Amit asks, when goals are not achieved, then, well, are you excited to see something about goals not being achieved, ladies and gentlemen? Let me show you. You see the number of things that are scratched out over here? Yeah, you see how shabby and dirty this looks? Let me tell you something. Perfection is a myth. Progress is the key. As long as you are making progress in the 7 areas of your life, even when certain things don't work as per plan and things don't work out, you don't really beat yourself up. So this is for improving your efficiency. It's not for perfection. Let me clarify that. Perfection is a myth. Okay. That's the key. All right. Where are we? Questions. Nikki says, where to start? Nikki, I think the first place to start is ask yourself, what do you want in those 7 areas? In your health, in your wealth, in your relationships, in your spirituality, in your recreation. Start from there and break it down to how you want to achieve it. This planner is a good structure as well. This is one of the things you can look at. Now, Kalyani, type out the question here in the chat box. Okay, Avneet says, I started using the planner last week. It gives tremendous clarity on everything. I'm glad, Avneet. How to find the right mentors? Ilango, I think I'll tell you what is my definition of mentor. Always look a person who has produced the results you would like to produce. A good mentor is a person who's produced results that you want to produce. Okay, like I'll tell you why I'm so open about telling people come and buy my business coaching service. Because I'm not just a trainer or a coach. I'm an entrepreneur first. Training and coaching happens to be one of my businesses. I have built a scalable business with 2,000 employees and 55 crore per annum turnover. I have failed in businesses. Now, I always tell people, I've built multiple businesses. All the businesses work without me. I'm not directly involved in everything. I only do what I'm good at in all the businesses. Like in this business of training and coaching, I'm good at training. I don't do one-to-one coaching with anybody. That's not my biggest strength. So the way to find the right mentor is check if they have produced the results that you want to produce. Because when you find people who produce the results that you want to produce, make them a mentor. Like for fitness, I have a mentor. I'm not been in the best. I'm not the fittest person I know, but I know for a fact that I've worked and I've created a lot of progress in my life. I've always been a fat, chubby, fluffy kid, and I've lost like what, close to now 18 kgs in the last 4 years. So I'm getting there. I'm not perfect in every area, but I have mentors in every area who are amazing at what I want. Okay. Jigna says, whenever sitting for planning, confused from where to start. Jigna, start from goals in life, then go to goals in business, and then go into roles and steps to take. Rajendra, your advice to improve your energy levels. Well, Rajendra, I would say if you want to keep your energy high, two things. One, accept that you are human, which means you will have low energy. A lot of people judge when they have low energy. Oh my God, my energy is going low. There's something wrong with me. I'm going through so many trainings. Still my energy is going down. Baba, my energy goes down. Every human's energy goes down. Why are you judging yourself and beating yourself up? So first, accept it's okay to have low energy. Second, the way to increase energy is one, either taking small steps towards your goals. How many of you realize when you take a small step, you create progress? When you create progress, you create momentum and you feel good. So take small steps. I always say this, small steps are more powerful than big dreams. A lot of people set big dreams. They don't take small steps. Take one little step, one small step. Like you want to join a gym, call the gym and inquiry. That's a small step. Okay. So take small steps. That includes energy level. Practice gratitude. Every morning I write, what are the 10 things I'm grateful for? Who are the 10 people I am grateful for? What are the 10 things I'm proud of myself for? 3 things. Everybody write this down. 10 things I am grateful for. 10 people I am grateful for in my life, and 10 things I am proud of myself for. You need to practice gratitude. When you practice gratitude, one thing is we all suck at self-appreciation. Okay. And in Mastering Your Life, I talk about this in detail on how you got to engage in self-love. So do that. Mani says, okay, I answer the question. Pramod Patel says, but the buy now link for and life plan is not working. Pramod, just drop me a message. I will connect you. Mayank says, what is contribution? Contribution is giving back to society, giving back in some form or shape. So ask yourself, what are you passionate about? Are you passionate about environment? Are you passionate about education? Are you passionate about healthcare? Are you passionate about old age? Are you passionate about food? Okay. Whatever cause you're passionate about, donate to that or do something in that area. Okay. Contribution is the most fulfilling thing. Okay. How many of you agree the highest joy comes when you do more for other people? If you agree, type out agree. The highest joy comes when you do when you do for other people. And in fact, we as human beings always do more for other people than we do for ourselves. So contribution is giving back to people, to the environment, to whatever things. Like yesterday was my spiritual mentor's birthday. She passed away 3 months back. One of the things she loved was trees. So yesterday, me and my family went and planted 100 trees at a farm, which was of a farmer who did not have money to plant trees. Just planting those trees was such a fulfilling thing. So you got to take up these experiences. And I can tell you, a simple experience like going and planting a tree would cost you 250 rupees per tree. And you can plant, say, 5 trees, 10 trees, 20 trees. Is better than spending a time in a pub any day. Any day, it's more fulfilling. It gives you a different high. So the thing is, you got to get creative with your own life. For most people, entertainment is Saturday night, daru pi ke talli. I'm not judging that if you drink daru, that's wrong. But all I'm saying is there's more to life. There's so much more to experience. Just get creative about it. Okay. How to build team, Mayank? That's a PACE program question. Full 3 days is on that. Don't worry. Okay. Ajay. Well, Ajay, the only one thing you need to motivate yourself, Ajay says lack of motivation to implement on a regular basis. The only one habit that I'm asking you to develop is 1 hour with yourself. Once you commit that 1 hour, then following this becomes easy. And once you commit to that 1 hour and do these things, everything then gets taken care of. So how many of you realize it's a 1 hour game? How many of you realize it's a 1 hour game? Just one thing I'm asking you, 1 hour. You do and follow this template, everything in your life then gets taken care of. And I tell this to people, if you can't play that 1 hour game, you are essentially telling me your life is not in your control. Then forget everything else. Forget everything else. Forget achievement, success, all of that. You are telling me you can't control 1 hour of your own life. That is sad. I feel bad for such people. So it's a 1 hour game. The 10 things I said was 10 things you are grateful for in life, 10 people you are grateful for having in your life, and 10 things you're proud of yourself for. Every day you write these 10 things. Every day you write these 10 things. Okay. Raja Singh, how to get out of the habit of giving up because of falling too many times? Please understand, falling and failing is a result not of lack of effort, but sometimes of lack of skill and lack of knowledge. So you get out of giving up by learning. By learning. That's why having mentors in every area of your life is important, because they teach you the right way and then you can do it. Okay. Awesome. Okay, guys. Ajay Kumar says, facing serious trouble in existing business, need to work out something new, how to proceed. Day 2 of the business space program is when we talk about business model. Now, someone is saying, when is the base program happening in Delhi? Success Gyan is going to reach out to you. We've already created a plan. We're going to reach out to you and they're going to give you the information. Okay. Okay. Upen says, can we do the 1 hour while driving a car or way back home? I travel 3 hours a day. Well, Upen, I would ideally say that you need to give yourself that space. So if you have a driver who's driving and you are doing this, then it's fine. Okay. But if you are driving and doing this, no, please, I don't want you to close your eyes and visualize your long-term dreams and meet with an accident. I don't want you to do that. Okay. Kalyani, do we write long-term goals every day? Well, you don't write long-term goals every day, but you spend 5 minutes with your long-term goals every day. Some days you write, some days you read, some days you just close your eyes and visualize and imagine being in that moment when that goal is coming true. Okay, so you play with it. You play with it. Okay, awesome. Well, we have the dates for PACE ready. We are Success is going to communicate to all of you. We've broken down into batches to make sure that we accommodate everybody. So don't worry about that. Okay, now, guys, it's already 9:10. I want to respect everybody's time. It's also dinner time for a lot of people. For me, it's my sleep time. I usually sleep by 9:30. If you see, my eyes look dark. Okay, so with that, I'm going to say a goodbye to all of you. I hope this was of value to you. Before you leave, I want you to share in the chat box, what is your key takeaway regarding this mastering your time element? So what's your key takeaway? Type out in the chat box your biggest lesson from today. What are you going to shift? Okay. Chintan says focus. Sandhya says 1 hour with self. Amit says 1 hour of me time. Okay. Vidush says planning. Aman says, I'm fed up of the business that I'm currently in. I'm not feeling learning anything new. Is it okay? What should I do? Aman, chat with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Drop me a message. I'll respond within 48 hours. Okay. 1 hour, 1 hour. A lot of you are talking about the 1 hour. In essence, let me tell you this. My biggest need or objective for today's session was to give you this 1 hour practice, because everything else was concept that I shared with you. Everything else was a concept that I shared with you. You do this 1 hour, you will automatically start doing everything. You'll manage every single area of your life. You will learn how to say no to people because you know you don't have the time for something, or you know you need to delay something. All of this will start happening. Now, someone's asked a question, how do you say no to customers? That's a question for the PACE program. We go into detail on it in day 3. Don't worry about that. In day 3, detailed manner, I'll tell you how to say no to a customer in a manner where they will appreciate and etc. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, continue the learning journey, play the 1 hour game, use this template of Hour of Power, get the And Life Planner. If the link didn't work for you, make sure you reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and I will make sure that you get the And Life Planner. Okay. Some of you are asking, how do I join PACE? Reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'll put you across to Aarti from my team. She will support you with that. Continue learning all the modules that we've given you. Okay. If you need a recording of this, we'll have it available in the next 48 hours. Probably from Monday, we will make it available to all of you as well. So you get the recording to watch it again. My biggest request for all of you is one thing: never ever compromise on an or life. Pursue the life of and life. Not everything will be perfect, but you will create progress in every area of your life. And that progress is what creates that fulfillment. With that, this is me, Rajiv Taleja, signing off. Thank you so much, everybody. And any challenge, I'm available on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Any question, I'm available on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Anything to do with and life, pace, I'm available on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Drop me a message. See you. Bye-bye. Good night. Sleep well, everyone.